Hey guys, it's me, Cali. Today I'm going to show you how I created my mixed media journal page for the month of December Mission Inspiration Challenge hosted by Mike Deakin. I had a blast creating this page, and I hope you'll stick around while I show you how I did it. When you're done watching the video, please check out the links below, check out Mike's group on Facebook, and you can join along in next month's challenge. See you guys in a minute. Okay guys, let's get started. As per usual, I'm using my large Delusions journal by Ranger, and I've already prepped my page with a piece of masking tape down the middle, and I have some wax paper on the back, so we're good to go. Now our first prompt is to cover our page with book page fragments. So I have, I keep a stash like any good mixed media artist of old book page. There's some from cookbooks and stamp catalogs and mineral books, and I'm just going to rip it up, and we are going to randomly cover our page with these fragments. Now it wouldn't be any page of mine without some good old-fashioned Americana decoupage matte media. I love this stuff. I'm actually getting low, but I have it in my palette dish and big brush, and we're just going to go in randomly. I'll show you a couple pieces and then finish off camera. Whee! That was more than a couple. Okay, just going to start laying it down. Camera's in a little closer on this, but I'll pull out at the end so you can get the full picture. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to cover this whole page. I believe it's 8.5 by 11 or 11.5 by 8, something like that. And I will, some of this paper is really old, which is nice. I'll come back to you when I'm all done, okay? So, see you in a few minutes. Okay, here you have it. It's nice and dry now. And I can't leave an inch of space untouched, so it's completely covered. And our next step is to add a thin layer of paint or gesso. So I'm just going to use some of my Daler and Rowney Simply Acrylic Gesso. I picked this up at Walmart for, I don't know, $5 or so. And I have it in my palette dish. I am going to water it down a little bit, just because it said to add a thin layer. So add a little water from a spray bottle, and we'll just mix it up with my brush. And we'll cover the page completely with a thin layer of gesso. As per usual, I have no idea where this page is going to take us, so hang on for the ride. That's part of the fun. This is the easy part. Hardest part for me usually is coming up with focal images, things like where I actually have to think. So far, this is easy. Okay, let's let this dry and come back with step 3. See you in a few minutes. Okay, so step 3 is to apply texture paste through a stencil. I have some homemade texture paste that's basically a mixture of cornstarch, baby powder, acrylic paint, Mod Podge, maybe some gesso. It changes every time I add something to it. And I'm going to use one of my Andy Skinner stencils. I've never used this one before. So I'll just start at the top, and I have a little spatula here. and we'll spatula it on. And I have a AARP card. For some reason they think I'm old enough to get that, and we'll use that to scrape it off. So I'm going to do the whole page. Again, I have no idea what kind of a focal point we're going to use, but this could turn out cool. Try not to make it too thick. Sorry if you can't see that. Let me put it where you maybe can. I'm just kind of pulling it across. Actually, I haven't even used that card yet, so the spatula seems to be working out just fine. Yeah, I'll cover the whole page, and it'll look cool once we put whatever we're going to put on top of it, I'm sure. One of these days I'll learn how to fast forward my videos. I use a YouTube editor to edit, and they have a slow motion feature, but as far as I can tell there's no fast forward feature. If you guys know any different, let me know. So for now, let me just show you that. Okay, and I am going to go all the way to the bottom, but just to show you. It looks really cool. And I'll take this and maybe turn it like this and finish up down here. Okay, so I'll see you back here when that's nice and dry. Okay guys, this is basically dry now. I think it looks really cool. And step 4 is to spritz with ink or color. And I'm going to fall back on my DecoArt Media Misters. I have some shimmer misters here. This one's in turquoise. I have a violet and primary magenta. So I'm just going to go in. These are permanent. And we're just going to kind of spritz away here. I'm going to add a lot so it kind of runs and drips. I don't want to cover everything completely, but you never know. And this one looks very much like the other one, but slightly different. I think we need a little more blue. What do you guys think? Because you know, obviously I'm trying to make purple here, right? Nah. Okay, I'm going to let these dry. Looks super cool. I'm going to kind of let it run a little bit. Wow, that color looks really off in the video. It almost looks orange, but it's not. This is a red. I'm going to try to do some color adjustment and come back. See you in a minute. Okay, so step 5 is to add patterned paper shapes. And I went through my stash and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I initially thought I might do some stars, and then I came upon some of this old packaging that I had received with some Happy Mail, and it had hearts already on it on a patterned paper. So I've decided to cut some out, and I'm just going to kind of randomly scatter them around the page. I'm out of tacky glue, so I'm going to use my Elmer's Glue All. It's a good glue. I'm not sure if it's archival or not, which doesn't matter for the purposes of this journal. I know their glue sticks are. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. Now we have a lot of texture obviously going on under this page here from all the texture paste, so I'm going to have to kind of work these down. And this mailing paper is actually kind of shiny and plasticky anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and scatter these hearts, and I'll continue to take a picture along the way so you guys can get some accurate color representation here. Yeah, so I have about 9 of them, which means I'll probably do 13. So I'll see you back here when that part's done. So step 6 is to add journaling or scribbles. I'm going to opt for the scribbles because I have no idea what kind of journaling I would want to put down. I'm just going to use a Sharpie marker, and I also saw this silver pen in my stash and I thought, well, that might be cool. I'm just going to start off with maybe turning these hearts into dangles. I know it's not a very original idea, but let's see where that goes. And I will bling these up the best I can. I'm taking a risk here. And I'll probably outline the hearts too. Let's just go for it. Like these are just hanging down here like dangling ornaments. I don't know. This will probably get covered up anyway, so I'm not going to stress it. This is what I felt like doing. And I'll probably add, you know, little bead spots along the way. Turn these into some kind of dangly something. I'll probably continue all around, and maybe I'll add a touch of this too. A little bit of silver in there. I don't know. What do you think? You feeling that? We'll see. I'm not going to get hung up on it. I'm going to doodle around here, and I'll be back when it's done. Okay guys, so what do you think? I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I, obviously did a little black and white action around the hearts, and I did break out my Uniball pen and kind of detail around the inside as well as the outside of the dangles to try to define them a little bit. So that was that for the doodling or scribbling. And step 7 is to add a festive focal image or two. I told you this is always the part that I struggle the most with each journal page, especially when I don't do any planning. So I thought for this page, definitely at this time of the year, which is December, that nothing says festive more than the little man in the red suit. So I've decided to draw out a little man in a red suit. I used my Canson mixed media paper, and I have just sketched out with a graphite pencil my favorite little man who's going to be wearing a red suit, and that's the Grinch. So what did I use? I don't even know. This Sanford pencil, nothing special, and I just sketched him out, and I also sketched out a couple holly leaves and some berries, and I thought I may use those. Obviously I want to give him some color, and he's chartreuse, right? But I thought, I haven't used these in a while. I'm going to use my Derwent Inktense pencils. These are great. They go on just like colored pencils, and you go over them with a paintbrush or water brush, which I have here, and they become permanent ink. So I am going to color him in first with the pencil, and then I'll go over it, but just to show you how that works. And that will dry permanent, and they're wonderful. So again, the color's not showing up true here, but so I'm going to color him up and color up some holly leaves and some berries, and I'll cut them out, and I'll either use Mod Podge or my glue again and just put him on the page. Like I said, we'll be covering up most of this now. Anyway, so here we go. I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, here he is, all finished. And like I said, I would use my Derwent Inktense pencils. I actually just used these 4. This is fuchsia instead of red for his suit. And then I did these 3 different greens. Apple green, sherbet lemon for his eyes, and field green. I used my water brush to activate those, like I said. And then, oh, I also used a red for his eyes. And then when it dried, I went over them a little bit with these colored pencils. So just a red and some greens again. And I also did a little shading just with a graphite pencil, just around his face and things like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way he looks, and I'm really happy with the placement on the page, the way he's holding these hearts and the baubles. And I decided not to do the holly. I actually did cut out the leaves and the berries, but I thought there was enough going on the page, so I'm going to skip that. And I just glued it down. Again, I used my Elmer's Glue All, and it's still drying right now. I weighted it down before, just because, again, there's so much texture on the page, but I didn't want to throw another coat of decoupage on it quite just yet. So I just wanted to show you, he's kind of floating on the page right now, but yeah, I love the Grinch. I'll be back with the next step. See you in a minute. Alright, so prompt 8 is to apply a little bling or sparkle. And I thought that around his hat, you know, how original, and his neck, the fur, I could do in this diamond dust glitter. So I'm going to try, can you see that okay? Such a glare here. I'm going to try to contain it to just those areas. We'll see how well I do. Just going to use the Elmer's again. And I'm going to be pretty liberal with it. I'll just show you this one part and then I'll do the rest. We're almost near the end of the page. I'm really loving it. I'll try to do this little tassel here too. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm just gonna try, you know, with glitter you're gonna be wearing it for days, but 'tis the season to be sparkly, even if you're the Grinch. And cool with the hearts with him. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I think probably Rudolph, the original Rudolph, is my favorite. But I'm old school, so I like the old animated ones. Frosty, Rudolph, but the Grinch was definitely a favorite. And it only came on once a year. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this up, and whatever excess glitter I have, I'll brush off the page the best I can. I'll take some pics, and I'll see you back here. Can you really even see how sparkly that is? There you go. Alright. See you back here when he's all sparkled up. Alright, so step 9 is to add a title or a quote, and I have a bag of these like foam sticker letters, and I think the only title that is necessary here is this one. So I am going to, I'll probably apply a little glue. I don't really trust the adhesion on these letters with the texture, but I think there's only one word that's necessary here. So I'm going to apply these. Again, if I need to, I'll use my Elmer's, and we'll be back with the last step. See you in a minute. Okay guys, so I did as I said I was going to do, and then all I did was take my black Stabilo pencil and I outlined everything, and I again activated it with my water brush, so just to make it pop a little bit. And our last final prompt is to add the border of our choice, and I initially thought I might do some silver glitter around or something like that, but there's so much going on this page that I'm going to keep it very simple, and I still have my pencil out, so I'm just going to very roughly go around the whole entire perimeter of the page, and again I'll activate it with my pencil, and that is going to be our border, just to kind of keep it simple. And that's going to be it. So I'm going to finish with this, and I will show you pictures at the end, of course. And please again check out the links that I put below. Mike Deakin's Mission Inspiration group on Facebook. He does these monthly challenges and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have, and give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Take care.